This is Chris Wolvie, the wrestling vlogger who always tells it like it is. And hey, in full view, I'm not right in your face this time. Now, if this works, below me should be a list of Raw, SmackDown, and 205 Live superstars. These are my rankings for the best male, female, and tag team superstars on each brand, plus the top 5 cruiserweights. I'm using the old TNA Bound for Glory series point system, but I adjusted it so that you get points more for defending your title, even more points for winning a title, and double the points on a pay-per-view, such as the Greatest Royal Rumble. I'm counting that. And and hopefully you'll agree with me. If you don't, well, the comment section is right below me. I'm also having special point systems for elimination matches, like Survivor Series matches, as well as for Battle Royals and Royal Rumble matches. So getting to that, the WWE has had pay-per-views all across the lower 48 states. They had a few in Canada. They had one in Puerto Rico, the New Year's Revolution, if you remember that one. They had a SummerSlam in England, and now for the very first time, they're going to have one in Saudi Arabia, the greatest Royal Rumble. And they are certainly trying to make this a WrestleMania-worthy event. And they've pretty much done it. Not just a 50-man Royal Rumble match, but also all 7 male championship matches are on the line. All championships are on the line, sorry. Plus, a Battle of Legends and a casket match. They really want to get Saudi Arabia into this. It's kind of a shame that none of the women are invited over there, but hopefully maybe the Arab Spring will continue, and maybe they'll be allowed next time. Who knows? Just so you know, my WrestleMania picks were on Twitter, because I didn't have this show before then. And I went 4 for 6. I didn't pick the John Cena Undertaker match because, quite honestly, I didn't think that would happen. And I didn't do any of the kickoff show matches, neither Battle Royal match or the Cruiserweight match. But of the matches I picked, I'm 4 for 6, so hopefully these 10 matches will boost up my average a bit. So, here we go. Predictions for WWE's Greatest Royal Rumble. Let's start with the non-title matches. John Cena versus Triple H. 30 championships between them, 30 world championships between them. They're both great competitors, and I don't like either of them. Yeah, I think John Cena is just turning into a comedic actor, and Triple H is too busy making NXT better than Raw and SmackDown. But if I had to pick, well, I think that I hate John Cena just a little less. Plus, Triple H has not been very active in the WWE. He's won only 4 matches in the last 4 years. Let me see if I can remember them. He beat Sting at WrestleMania 31. He won the Royal Rumble before WrestleMania 32. He won the roadblock match against Dean Ambrose to hold on to the title before WrestleMania 32. And then, of course, last year's Survivor Series, which I don't think he really cared about. Then again, John Cena is on a 4 pay-per-view losing streak. He lost at Royal Rumble, he lost at Elimination Chamber, at Fastlane, and at WrestleMania, in record time, I might add. So he's due, but Triple H is also due, but since I hate Triple H a little more than I hate John Cena, I'm going to pick John Cena for this. Although I will say that it'll take 3 AAs to pin Triple H, and John Cena will kick out of a pedigree. Casket match. The Undertaker versus Rusev. Why? Why did Lana talk them into putting Rusev back into this match? This is The Undertaker's match, for crying out loud. And he's not all that good at it. I think he lost about half the time. But the point is, This is his match. And sure, Rusev is younger than Undertaker, and the last person that he fought that was younger than him was Roman Reigns, and we saw what happened to that. But, you know, I gotta give it to The Undertaker. The people of Saudi Arabia have wanted to see The Undertaker in action, live and in person, and they wanted to see The Undertaker win. And if The Undertaker doesn't win, they're going to get really ticked off. And if there's one thing I've learned since Operation Desert Storm is you do not tick off anyone on the Arabian Peninsula if you can handle it. So, yeah, I'm going to give it to The Undertaker, and Aiden English, you better stay out of the way, otherwise you're going to be stuck in the same casket as Rusev for a long time. All right, on to the title matches. Cruiserweight Championship. Cedric Alexander defends against Kalisto. I don't know. I mean, Kalisto has tried for the Cruiserweight Championship several times in the past year or so, and didn't really work. I think this thing between the house party, the Mexican house party, and the Japanese fighters on 205 Live, I think that's still worth pursuing for a little while longer. Maybe they could find a third Japanese person to make it an even matchup. But I really don't think Kalisto is set for the championship again. Cedric Alexander has been fighting and fighting and fighting for this title, and he finally got it at WrestleMania. They're not going to take it away from him 19 days later. Come on. Sorry, 26 days later, but you get the idea. So, no. Cedric Alexander is going to win by pinfall, but it's going to be a respectable pinfall. So, on to the Raw Tag Team Championship Tournament Finals. Woken Matt Hardy and Bray Wyatt versus The Bar, Sheamus and Cesaro. Now, it could go either way, because Sheamus and Cesaro said that if they win, they're going back to Raw. So that's wholly possible. They're not going to bring the Raw titles back to SmackDown, that's for sure. And yet, you know, Woken Matt Hardy and Bray Wyatt, they're kind of like The Bar were about a year or so ago. Sheamus and Cesaro couldn't stand each other. They had a vicious bunch of matches, and at the end, they ended up being a tag team forced together, and look where they come. Look how far they've come. So who's to say that Bray Wyatt and Woken Matt Hardy can't do the same? Plus, I don't think they moved Sheamus and Cesaro to SmackDown just to move them back to Raw 3 weeks later. Forget it. So I'm going to say Woken Matt Hardy and Bray Wyatt, the leader of worlds, will be the new Raw Tag Team Championships. Although I am still worried that Bray Wyatt still has a little bit of Sister Abigail inside of him. I don't think it's been totally deleted, but that's for another time. Anyway, SmackDown Tag Team Championships. The Bludgeon Brothers defend against the Usos. Let's face it, to call the match at WrestleMania a massacre is a gross understatement. The Bludgeon Brothers just easily handed both the Usos and the New Day. I mean, sure, they got a few shots in, but the match outcome was really never in doubt. Ever since Rowan and Harper have gotten back together as a team, they've been nigh on unstoppable. They've even been more vicious than in their Wyatt family days. And so, I'm going to say that's not going to stop. The Bludgeon Brothers will easily win this. Oh, I'm not saying the Usos won't make it a match, but they won't make it much of a match. Let's put it that way. Maybe 5 minutes, if they're lucky. So, onward. The United States Championship match. Rematch. Jeff Hardy versus Jinder Mahal. Now, this is interesting, because there's no law saying that One brand has to have the Intercontinental Championship, the other has to have the United States Championship. It's very possible that Jinder Mahal could bring the United States title to Raw, forcing SmackDown to create a third secondary title. Television Championship, perhaps? And yet, part of me doesn't think that's going to happen. I mean, if they were only going to give Jinder Mahal the United States title for 8 days, they're certainly not going to give it back to him. I mean, he was a very interesting WWE champion, but that's all he really was. Just a decent WWE champion. He shouldn't have even won the championship. It was just done to appease the Indian contingency, the Indian fans, the Indian members of the WWE universe. And now that that's done and done, I mean, where else is he going to go? Back to his losing ways? Who knows? But Jeff Hardy was really born for this United States Championship. And once again, he has a Grand Slam, and they're not going to take it away from him 2 weeks, 3 weeks later. So, no. Jeff Hardy will win by pinfall. Even if the Singh brother interferes, it's not going to matter much. The Intercontinental Championship ladder match. Seth Rollins from Raw defends against Raw's Finn Balor and SmackDown's Samoa Joe and The Miz. Once again, could the Intercontinental title be moved to SmackDown? I'm thinking not. The Miz is probably going to try for the WWE Championship. I think that's what he should do. I think this whole thing about greatest Intercontinental Champion is bupkis. So I really don't think that that's the way it's going to go. And Samoa Joe has got a date with Roman Reigns. So he's not going to be Intercontinental Champion either. Which brings me to Seth Rollins and Finn Balor. These two know each other very well. After all, they fought for the Universal Championship 2 years ago at SummerSlam. So they know each other. But the big difference this time is that they respect each other. So it's going to be brutal, but I really think that Seth Rollins, once again, he just got the Grand Slam. They're not going to take it away from him this quickly. So Seth Rollins will win, but I think it's going to be rather brutal. Universal Championship rematch inside of a steel cage. The reigning, defending, undisputed Universal Champion Brock Lesnar versus Roman Reigns. I hate myself for saying this, but I totally agree with Roman Reigns. We need a full-time Universal Champion. The only full-time Universal Champion we had was Kevin Owens. And now that he's back on Raw, maybe he'll get it again someday. But ever since Goldberg took the title from him, the only time he defended the title was against Brock Lesnar at WrestleMania, and we all saw what happened with that. And since then, Brock has only wrestled on pay-per-views like 6 or 7 times in the last year. And he's still champion? We need a champion that can take it every single pay-per-view. And that's what Roman Reigns does. I hate to think of him as a main eventer, but that's the way it is. I don't want Brock Lesnar just defending the title at major pay-per-views like SummerSlam, Survivor Series, Royal Rumble, and WrestleMania. I want the Universal Champion to defend it every single month, at least. And so, this is my boldest prediction yet. I think Roman Reigns is going to win this match. I hope so, anyway. WWE Championship rematch. AJ Styles defends against Shinsuke Nakamura. For God's sakes, AJ, wear a cup! You know he's going to go for it. You know he's going to go for your little phenomenal ones. That's what he does. I mean, it doesn't seem to matter. I think Nakamura is more intent on humiliating AJ Styles than winning the championship. Oh, he's going to try to win the championship, but when the Kinshasa doesn't work, he's going to go for that low blow. Because that's how he is now. Oh, you know speak English, Shinsuke? Well, guess what? You know speak a WWE Championship either. I think AJ Styles will win by disqualification. And Shinsuke will be even more hated than he is now. Finally, the 50-man greatest Royal Rumble match. Oh, I love this. The reason I love Royal Rumble matches is because they are so unpredictable. Not only do you not know who's going to be in it, they only announced like 22 or 23 superstars in the Rumble match itself, but you never know who's coming when. And being 50th is going to be a hell of a lot more advantageous than being number 1 or number 2. The only time that a Royal Rumble has been more than 30 men, it was won by someone between 31 and 40. El Patron is the guy's name, but who knows now that he's gone from the other guys. So I really can't make a valid prediction on this because I don't know half the people who are in it. If I knew them all, I'd be able to predict even better. But if I have to make a prediction, I'm going to go with Braun Strowman. And I think he's going to come in somewhere in the early 40s and dominate. So I'm going to go with Braun Strowman, but don't take it absolutely 100% because I don't know who is in it completely. So it could be anyone. But that's what's so great about the Royal Rumble, right? All right, those are my predictions. If you have your own, talk in the commentary below. I'm Chris Wolvie, the only wrestling vlogger who always tells it like it is. See ya.